And it says we are live. It's Thursday night. I'm here. You're beautiful. That must mean, baby, it's time for GotBot Goes Live. Of course, I'm your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, a.k.a. GotBot. As always, man, please like, comment, share, of course, subscribe. And while you're at it, loud on my baby, hit the notification bell. It helps me out a ton. It lets you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, all the groups that I'm either a mod or an admin for, as well as all of my social media links. All of that in the description down below. Also in the description down below. And if you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. You can check us out on Patreon. You can see what we have to offer to you through spring. Or, of course, you can hit the join button right here on YouTube and become a channel member, baby, at any time. I'm just getting a couple of things set up today before I kind of go on. Today we had some kind of big worldwide news that is not Transformers related. I think we all know by now. I will get to that in a moment. In the news tonight, I'm going to kind of give an update to Road Rocket because I have not been impressed with that mold. We have an unboxing. We're going to talk about some new images and some new reveals and whatnot from Legacy and Studio Series and the ReAction line. We're going to talk a little bit about the latest offering from the MPG Raiden, as well as the latest offering from Movie Masterpiece. So we have a few things certainly to cover, but we're going to try and have a good time all the same. So like I said, just bear with me a couple of minutes. I'm just getting things sort of kind of set up here a little bit. It has been quite a week. Of course, first week back to school for all the kiddios and teachers and whatnot. So it's it's been a bit of a week. Trying to kind of get back into things. I'm hoping that I will be able to offer you guys the. I'll spit this out in a moment. Offer you guys the season finale of Universal Collision sooner rather than later. Fingers crossed. We'll see how it goes, right? Hey, Dragonfly, Brian. Happy to see you here, buddy. Big M. Keldio. Devoid of Logic. Nice. I like that name, man. Hey, Jay. Brian. Yeah, Brian just said R.I.P. Queen Elizabeth II. You know what? Before I even go down any further, how about we do that? Today, of course, after 70 years, in her 71st year of her reign, Queen Elizabeth II passed away, presumably surrounded with her family at the age of 96. Of course, she started her reign in 1952, and it has been reported that ever since the passing last year of the Duke of Edinburgh, of course, Prince Philip, that her health has sort of steadily declined. It's so strange because, of course, Canada is still part of the Commonwealth, and like our money has the Queen all over it. And we've always, said, God save the Queen and long live the Queen, and all of these things that we've associated for multiple generations now. My father's generation, my generation, our kids' generation, right? So it's quite an adjustment after a very, very, very long reign, very, very long career in service of the public of Great Britain, of the United Kingdom, and of course of the Commonwealth, right? So out of respect, we are going to have a moment of silence for Queen Elizabeth, who passed away today at the age of 96. Okay, let's get going. So Alfred, happy to see you. Big M, happy to see you. What? The IRL reveal was shocking, and IRL, I don't know what IRL is. And was shocking and sad. I don't have a clue what IRL is. And the Legacy RC is crap. No surprise. You're talking about things, Keldio. I don't have a clue what you're talking about. It's not part of my world. Sorry. You're way over my head. I don't have a clue what your comment means, buddy. Sorry. It's just one of those things. It's not part of my world yet. So I don't know what you're talking about. I do not know. I think the leader of the nation is often transformative, thus related to this video's. What are you talking about? I don't have a clue what you guys are talking about. I don't know what you're talking about either, Anthony. Not a clue. I'm sorry. I must have missed something, I guess. I do not know. I think the leader of a nation is often transformative, thus related to this video's topic. I don't know what you're talking about. Hey, Big M. Hey, Lance. Doing all right. I mean, tomorrow's Friday, right? End of the first week back. And where I'm working tomorrow, I have the day ends a little bit early for me. So that's kind of good. Hey, Princeton. Hey, Blue. Sorry, I'm late from the previous live seeing. I don't understand what you guys are talking about. Blue, I don't know what that means. Previous live seeing? I don't know what you're talking about, man. Hey, Marcus. And everyone made jokes on how Queen Elizabeth was immortal until today. I don't think it was jokes. I think it was people became so used to her as weaved in the fabric of our society, like at least here in Canada, weaved in the fabric of our society in such a way that there are certain things that you just kind of took for granted. Even saying now King Charles it's weird to say. You know, God save the king is weird to say. It's weird to say. That's all. Getting the box together. Cool, Dragonfly. I did tell Starscream Wife that there's something for her. I have not told her what it is, so I'm keeping her guessing there. But the excitement is ramping up. I have to go up here a little bit. RIP to Her Majesty. Yes, of course. RIP. It's nice that you guys are showing that respect. Not so much for me. I'm sort of indifferent, but we certainly have a lot of people in our community that are invested in the Royals. And we have a lot of people in our community that are from the UK. And I mean, this is, I know how peculiar it is and how much it's affecting the kind of like fabric of culture here in Canada. I can only imagine. I can really only imagine how it's affecting things, across the pond, so to speak, right? Ultra Megatronus and I were talking just before we went on. If you see his comment there about laughing about what he last said, it was a conversation him and I were having. Ever hear of transformational leadership? It is a business. Yes, I've heard of it, but I don't have a clue what transformational leadership has to do with this. I'm not making the connection is all, Anthony. Hey, Jason. As for Legacy RC, Legacy RC. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about Studio Series because that's not in my world. Yeah, Legacy RC mold is the Legacy RC mold is not good. I did do the review. Actually, that's a lie. The review for Road Rocket will go up tomorrow, but I'm going to give you kind of just a little preview of some stuff I had to do so you know sort of what to expect. Yeah, it's certainly not about the Queen. Hey, Ace. Appreciate that, man. Shout out to the teachers. God save the king. Yeah. And you know what? My wife pointed out, she said, like, in our lifetime, I mean, unless something catastrophic happens, there will never be another queen that is the, that head of state, right? I mean, the way that succession goes, I mean, it's going to be kings probably for the rest of our lifetimes, right? Which is a strange thing to think about now. Like somebody like myself, who, and some of you who are, in our 40s, heading on 50, and now the second half of our life will be very different with those references than what the first half was. We'll see how it unfolds. Beast Wars Inferno weeps for the death of the. Oh, he absolutely would. You're right. Transitional, transform. I guess you have too many degrees of separation for me, Anthony. Too many degrees of separation for me. I guess I get it now. I wasn't making those links. I'm not gonna lie. By the way, Anthony being here, I'll throw it out now. My understanding is Saturday, I believe there is a tier list for G1. This is the latter end. I think a lot of it is going to be pretenders, for example. Anthony can rectify that. I'm not on that panel, but I know, of course, some people certainly are. I don't know what time it starts or anything like that. But Saturday, it's a G1 panel. I know that it's going to be pretender heavy. If you want to give me the details, Anthony, I'll certainly share more of them here. Was bummed out that she passed. Had the news on, and they were breaking news, and yeah, and we were almost at an appointment. I think we knew. This morning there was a lot of talk about her being like under medical supervision, and like her family was called in and stuff. And my wife was kind of saying all day, like, yeah, this is going to be it. I mean, this is going to be it. And sure enough, she was right. Remember when Victoria was queen? No, I don't. But she was Victoria was fun times. You're right, Anthony. She is fun times. I got in Legacy G-Axis the other day. Yeah, G-Axis is fantastic. Fantastic. I like chicken noodle soup, Marcus. Transformers Generation 1. It's going to be Transformers Generation 1, 1988, 1989, tier list, live on the TF Reviewers channel. I don't know what time. If you want to tell me what time, Anthony, I'll share that too. GotBot, will you tribute Elizabeth? I don't really know how I would tribute it, to be honest with you. I mean, anybody who works at any job, especially one that's in so much the public eye for 70 years, I mean, it's hard not to respect that, We did do our moment of silence at the beginning of the show, as we tend to do when people pass. Starscream wife, of course, doing her sneezing as she normally does on the show. So bless you. I don't really know how I would honor her, and I don't think I'm invested enough in the royal family and the royalty to be the person to do that. But I certainly respect those that are that invested. Let's see. So the tier list starts at 6 p.m. Eastern. It includes Anthony or H&E Games. Or H&E Toys, or H&E Tech, whichever one he wants to use, as well as Input, Raziel Kane, and the TF Addict, and Ultra Marcus. Always a gent. You contributed it with Beast Wars Inferno, like a bit of a joke. I mean, yeah, I don't want to do that. I get it, but I don't want to do anything that could be construed by anyone as bad taste, because my understanding is that with the effect that this has on people that are invested, that it is significant and it is somber. So I get it, and it's a nice thought, but I don't think I'm the guy to do it. Hey, Mike, Input. One thing about the Queen that will always be cool is that she would be remembered, respectfully speaking, as a Bond Queen. Daniel Craig will always have that honor. She spoke to my dad. She asked my dad two or three questions on a royal visit here in like the 80s. So my dad actually spoke to her and like shook her hand. So, small world, right? That thumbnail's great. That's why I left it. My mouth is so wide open because I'm so surprised of what's in this box. Big shout out to Ultra Megatronus, because this box came from him. As we go down here. Okay, so let's get into the news. We're gonna actually let's do this first. So tomorrow's review is going to be Road Rocket. And I said last week that this is an awful mold, and it is a terrible, terrible mold. Huge shout out to Ninja Bill, because the instructions are garbage. I couldn't transform it. Now, to be fair, there's another reason besides for bad instructions that I couldn't transform this. On the back here, there's a piece that's kind of a rectangle that has a little hole there. The front of it has a screw in it, and there's a ball back there that I guess is supposed to be what gives her waist rotation, her waist swivel. Okay, that piece was assembled both backwards and upside down, so it was impossible for me to transform it, and she fell apart into two halves. So I had to change that around. As it is now, I still don't really discern much in the way of a waist. But at least the torso now does lock, because it wasn't locking before. It was just flopping all over the place. But I'm not really getting a waist. What I'm getting when I wiggle her like this is the black plastic on the back here is flexing. It's not a waist. It's not the tolerance is not giving me a waist. This whole piece has been thickened with Bondic. The whole front of the motorcycle was just falling off. Now I get it. It's supposed to be able to come off like fossilizers or weaponizers. I get it. But it shouldn't fall off just by looking at it. And that's what was happening. The two sides that fold back, they have two places that they peg in. They weren't pegging in on either of mine. I had to sand the holes bigger for the pegs on this to fit in. I've had both biceps pop off. I had to sand down the mushroom pegs. I have had one shoulder come clean off. Luckily, it's a metal pin inside the shoulder, so I was able to push it back on. I have had both thighs come off. I have had both of the shins come off. Basically, every hinge here that can fall apart has fallen apart. This is garbage. I have now made it serviceable, but if you're going to, here's the thing. I think the design is kind of brilliant. I really do. I think it was kind of a great design. I don't blame the designers. Whoever chose the materials or whoever was the penny pinchers that said, hey, we have to use this cheaper garbage plastic, that's what ruins this. Bad QC on the assembly line, that's what ruins this. It's not the design. The design is great. I love how the arms become the back of the bike and the legs are the front. But when you can't assemble the thing right and you're using subpar materials, it's going to ruin the whole experience. And that's what happened with Road Rocket. I can't speak for everybody's copy of the mold, only my own, but my experience has not been good at all. Let's get into the news. I know you guys are talking there. I will catch up in a moment. Hey, Maximal 10. So first things first, Beast Wars Inferno. We saw some more images. His blaster thing that normally is inside his tail. Apparently it can go in his tail, but the Takara images that we saw put that blaster thing in a peg hole that's on the top of the end. Why you would ever want to put it there, I don't know. It looks awful. We also saw some images of Armada Starscream. I don't like the asymmetrical swords. I don't like the fact that they're not the right color. It's jarring to me. Some people might not care, but I find it jarring. And the things on his shoulders, Input was talking about it on his news yesterday. I don't know if they fold down or not. You would think that they do, but when they don't, they seem very empty unless you put the pieces in the front, so that's coming well out over his shoulder. Otherwise, it seems really empty. I don't think it's a bad Starscream by any stretch of the imagination, but there's things about it that make me scratch my head. I still think if you are an Armada fan, a Unicron Trilogy fan, you owe it to yourself to get this Starscream. You have to get this Starscream. It's as simple as that. If you don't, and they don't produce any more Armada or Cybertron or Energon characters, you have nobody to blame but yourself. I don't know. I find it weird, I guess. ReAction in the US, G2 Grimlock, and the toy accurate deco of their Galvatron is out. On the back of that package, we actually have a number of reveals, including Wreck-Gar and a Sharkticon in shark mode and Quintessons. Now, I'm going to tell you, I have the Earthrise Quintessons. I also have the, what was it, like LRC or something? They were like smaller Quintessons. I think that the Quintessons are something that works in ReAction. Yes, they're small, but they don't need any articulation or anything. I think it can work in the ReAction line. I haven't been in for any of the ReAction stuff. I think the molds and the painting and stuff look great for cartoon accuracy, but the minimal articulation, no transformation kills it for me. I'm just not that type of collector. Nothing against it. I'm just not that type of collector. I think it's really interesting to see these Quintessons. Now, here's the other thing. They're going to do a supersized one that is 6 inches in height. Gigantic, right? And it's going to be Unicron. And what version of Unicron? It's going to be the prototype version. I think that is wild. But for the fact that the prototype never, ever got produced, this is going to be the closest kind of officially licensed, official prototype version that'll actually be out. I'm willing to bet that that Unicron will be the hottest thing that ReAction has ever put out. It is probably going to be their best selling item to date. See how close I am to being right. Let's see. RC and Sideways are out at GameStop in Canada. They have not arrived in my neck of the woods yet. They are just in Ontario as of this show. As well, sorry, not Ontario, Quebec. I apologize, Quebec. As well, in Ontario, at a Walmart. The red Shockwave and Galvatron were spotted, as well as Retrax. So Retrax and the latest red line have been spotted at Walmart in Ontario. And I think it's Studio Series Wave 17, I think is what RC and Sideways are. And that's in Quebec. So they're starting to eke in a little bit into our country here. Studio Series Hot Rod. We saw some more images and comparisons to the Walmart exclusive Last Night Deluxe Class Hot Rod. The Last Night Deluxe Class Hot Rod, much bigger. However, I will say this, that version of Hot Rod had really limited hips. It was nice, but it was obviously a heavy retool of the Age of Extinction lockdown mold. The Studio Series one is small, or well, in height, it's smaller. I can't talk about density, but in height, it's smaller. However, I think the Studio Series one, while not a perfect representation of the Last Night film Hot Rod, I think it's the closer one than compared to the Walmart exclusive earlier version. If you're into the movie line, if you're into that version of Hot Rod, if you're into the Last Night, get the Studio Series one because it is better than any other version that has come out before. Is it perfect? No, but it's definitely the best, at least so far. So take that for what you will. What else do we have here? eHobby, they have a character card binder. If you have been into their like character cards that have like the super deformed art and stuff, you can now get a card binder. What else do we have here? Earthspark had a new trailer. We saw a little bit about Twitch, and I can't remember the other Transformer's name. That's an Earthborn Transformer. We saw some more of the comedy and stuff. As well, we've seen images that compare Bumblebee, Optimus, Megatron, and who's the other one? Bumblebee, Optimus, Megatron, and Elita 1 to their G1 counterparts. It's an interesting thing to see, but they're obviously not the same. My understanding is that this is another reboot again, rather than like an addition to the existing lore. It'd be cool if this was like a post G1 or something before Beast Wars or something like that. I don't know how they could work that since Japan has pretty much done all the post North American G1 stuff. You know what I mean? So I don't think that that's what they were doing. I don't know why it was done, but it was interesting to see. I still prefer the G1. That's what I grew up with, so that's what my association is. But to be fair, I'm not hating on the Earthrise either. I don't have an issue really with it. I think it looks all right. I'm interested to see how the show progresses. PulseCon is happening September 30th. I don't care. Pulse doesn't serve me. We did, however, find out that the next chapter of Legacy that has currently been referred to as Year 2 will be called Evolution, which is interesting because evolution was a word that was thrown around and thought to be the second chapter for the War for Cybertron trilogy, which of course ended up being Earthrise, right? But the E, everybody thought was going to be Evolution. It has now been associated with Legacy. I suspect that we will probably start seeing some reveals for that. My understanding is that for like Legacy as we know it, we're only getting the 3 waves. So the wave with Skullgrin and Crankcase and Dead End and whatever the other one is that's in that wave. I've heard that we're only getting 3 waves instead of the normal 4. I don't know if that's true. We might get a 4th wave. But it's what I heard. And I was like, that's weird. Why would they release the last combiner limb in like the next chapter? It just, I don't know. It struck me as strange was all. I still think there's going to be a wave 4 revealed before we get into Evolution, but some people are saying that they think on September 30th we're going to get a couple of reveals from the first wave of Evolution. I don't know. We'll see. There's a lot there to kind of digest and think about. We will, however, on September 30th get more news about Shattered Glass and about some partnerships going on and some artwork going on. So take that for what you will. Metroplex was shown off in a stop motion produced in China. It's a fun watch. It's only about 3 minutes. But the funny part is, more than really focusing on Metroplex, I found it really focused on Blitzwing. I found the star of the show was really Blitzwing. And I'll even give credit where credit is due. I thought one of the best scenes was when all of the Decepticons were kind of coming up with a plan. And like they're all giving bits of information to Blitzwing and like he's writing it down on a piece of paper. And I think it was like their idea of how Blitzwing could like destroy the shrink ray that Metroplex was using. He used it on Starscream, for example, and some others. And like, how do you destroy that shrink ray and then release the Decepticons? It was well done. Honestly, it was only short, but it was a well done story. Transformers gaming chairs, in the vein of Optimus Prime, mostly a black chair. Bumblebee, mostly a yellow chair, and Megatron, I think that one's mostly black as well. Their G1 artwork is on there. If you want a gaming chair and you want a Transformer on it, hey, you can get it for the low price of $399.99 US. $400 for a chair, man. I mean, I get it. It's a gaming chair. $400 for a chair. Okay. Man, furniture kills me, I gotta say. Studio Series Crosshairs. We saw some new images there compared to, like, I think it was the Last Night version. It's obviously infinitely better than the Last Night version. That wasn't great. I like the way that they have handled the coat by having numerous hinges that can move and whatnot. But then you see him from the side, and man, is he skinny. I mean, it's his front, and then like the front half of his ribs, and then there's like no back half to his ribs, no spine, no back. All of everything that would be his back is really attached to the coat. Now, I mean, you could sort of work around it, I'm sure, but I was jarringly surprised when I saw a side-on view, and I was like, where's the rest of the robot? Why does he have no back? Like, it's something that stood out to me. I guess it's done for engineering and stuff. And don't get me wrong, if you have his back down and the coat covering things, I think it looks fine. I get why he kind of doesn't have a back. I just find it very odd and jarring to look at. I mean, again, take that for what you will. We found out that New Jersey Collector Con is going to be live this year on October the 29th. We usually get some news out of there as well. So I'm going to take all of that there. Before I kind of get into the end of the news, let's go back and check in with you guys here a little bit, because I know you've been talking about some stuff, and we will kind of get there. So bear with me. Let's go up to about here. The Thomas episode, Caldeo, of Thomas Meets the Queen. I never saw that episode, but that's pretty cool. Hey, Puma. Elizabeth is symbolic of... Okay, so I'm going to remove that comment because it's disrespectful. Just so we're clear. I mean, karma, bro. Just saying. Hey, Maximal 10. Input. Let's go down here a little bit. Hey, Manitoba, if I missed you. God forbid we can just buy a fig and not have a fix for anything. That's the thing. Like, the prices have gone up and significantly. And I mean, if I bought this for $15.99, $17.99, and I had to do all the work on it, I'd say that stinks. But you know, what do you expect for less than $20? This was $40, and I had to fix literally every single hinge on it. Like, and I've had a couple of real disappointments like that lately. Real disappointments. All I'm feeling as I get more of these disappointments for the price is that my idea to kind of work my way out of buying all the new stuff and focus more on different content, following the last two Dinobots, like the more I see and the more I experience and the more I spend, the more I feel like, yeah, I think that end in sight makes sense for me. Not going to be for everybody, but you got to go with how you see the value, and you got to go with, I guess, how you see the quality, right? You know, I mean, it is what it is, right? I mainly got Legacy RC to make into a Cybertron Thunderblast, but my plans instantly changed as I decided to use the head for my Cyberverse RC once I got Studio Series 86 RC. Woo! That's a lot of RCing, man. But you know what? Do whatever works for you, bro. Sounds like your Road Rocket was a hot mess. She absolutely was a hot mess. My copy is fine. Sounds like you got a horrible one. I must have got the worst copy out there, right? I can tell you now, she's not going to score that great. And it's unfortunate because the potential is there for her to be really great. You'll see tomorrow. You'll see tomorrow. Blue Raccoon likes that episode of Thomas Caldeo. I haven't had those issues with Road Rocket, says Ash. Someone even made a fan mode base on the Bay Film RC sisters. Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm already in for the usage of this mold as Flamore because I love her and I can only hope that it's all right. I mean, I can't get her. Again, that's one of those things like it's not available in my area. So it is what it is. Shame, shame, shame that she's a turd. Having another fembot would have been nice. Honestly, I mean, you might get her, and maybe your copy would be fine, Maximal 10. I can only speak for mine, right? Hasbro should be paying us for fixing things. Yeah, I'm with you, Ace. Do it down here. Hey, Solar, Road Rocket looks like Fans Project Ekara as a normal femba. I don't know that Fans Project mold, so I can't really speak to it. Tolerance issues back to Combiner Wars Days 2. Quintessons should be in the red line. Yeah, Quintessons should be in the red line. I agree. A big boy prototype around. Yeah, I mean we're saying a big prototype for that Unicron and stuff. It's still only 6 inches, right? It's still only about a deluxe size. It's just that's large for something from the ReAction line, right? Hey, Sovereign. It's the new GPS. If you mean having to fix mushroom pegs as the new GPS, yeah, I'm right there with you. Yellow plastic equals cosmic rust in real life. Yeah, that's been a thing. Input whitened his Shattered Glass Starscream, and I think it was within 2 months it yellowed again because that's what happens. It's not a permanent fix, right? And I've heard that each time you whiten it, you weaken the plastic. So I don't know if that's true, but take it. Like I know a few people that are broken stuff, but they've also had multiple whitening sessions. Paint it would be my suggestion to you. That's probably your best bet. I don't worry about buying new figures due to the GPS. I assume that you mean the yellowing. How about that third-party Orion Pax? I'm thinking I'll get that. I talked about that Orion Pax last week. I think that I'm assuming you, Sovereign, you mean the X Transbots one. I talked about that last week. I think that's the one to beat. I'm not an MP guy or an MP scale guy, so it's not for me. But that, especially with the trailer and everything, I think that's the one to beat. It seems like a beautiful homage, or melange, if you will, mixture of Cup and Rodimus Prime. And that sort of makes sense because it would have been a Cybertronian mode. And it's a Cybertronian truck, and that's what a Cybertronian transport truck back looks like. So I think it makes sense. I think it's great, honestly. I really do. I'm thinking I'll get that if I can't get my hands on the Hasbro exclusive 2-pack. Again, I can't get that either. Evolution sounds like a stop motion. It does. Or it sounds like a wrestling faction. Anybody who knows wrestling will probably remember Evolution. Orion Pax isn't a high priority. However, if the price is right, I'll want it because I have to buy 2 of them. You don't have to buy 2 of them. Just so we're clear, Sovereign, you don't have to buy 2 of them, right? The price is going to be expensive. It's X Transbots. It's going to be a few $100s. So the thing is, the Hasbro 2-pack of Alpha and Orion is too much. I don't know how much it is. I know nothing about that 2-pack. If it's Pulse, I don't look at it. It's not a part of my life. I have nothing to do with it, unfortunately. That jumped on me. Oh man, I hate when that jumps on me. Did everyone go vote? We're gonna get to actually. Let's do it now, Mike. So Mike just asked, did everyone go and vote for animated and Earthrise characters? I didn't see anything for Earthrise, but I do know that 2 new things were added this year to the Hall of Fame. If you haven't checked it out, one is the favorite animated character. I know who I voted for, but you got to vote with your heart. Who is your favorite animated character? TFW mentioned Sentinel Prime. Don't vote for Sentinel Prime. He's awful. But your favorite animated character. And the other one is favorite legacy offering. And there's been a lot of good ones. I feel like for me, for legacy, I really got to go with G-Axis because of how I scored him and said, you know what? He is what Voyager needs to be. Can't be anything less than that. Like he has to be the standard bearer for what a Voyager with a higher price is. That or better, right? So that's kind of where I'm to. Again, you got to vote with your heart. I'm sure a lot of people are going to, vote for things that I wouldn't, but you got to go with your heart, right? Let's go down here a little bit. I'm trying to pre-order Maverick only because it's an F-14 Tomcat. I don't know anything about planes or fighter jets or a Top Gun. Maverick looks like garbage. Get him, Sovereign, and leave him in the plane. Get one. Leave him in the plane. Pretend that he doesn't have that ugly robot mode. Hey, Razor Bear. Road Rocket mold is just plain trash. Yes, or at least mine is. I just hope this wave of Maverick doesn't discolor. Did the other wave of Maverick discolor? With the way the Walmart's here treated the Velocitron line like soccer balls, I am not surprised that you got junk, possibly. Although, to be fair, mine came right out of the case. Like, I happened on the case before it was opened, and I actually said to the guy, I need something out of that case, and he opened it for me. So mine was like from the factory. Just got an email message saying I have a package to pick up. By the look of it, it's possibly some of the goodies for your Christmas stream. Uh-oh. Dum, dum, dum. I think it's pretty cool that Road Rocket's a girl. Now, that I do think is great. I honestly, I think that her revisioning as female is great. I like motorcycles as females. And I'll even say this. If you could get a good copy and get the tolerances good, I feel like this would make a great Nightbird. Way better than reusing that garbage Siege chromium mold. If you could get the tolerances right on this, you could have a great Nightbird, but you got to get the tolerances right, man. Hey, Manitoba, if I didn't say it already, hope all the remaining SG Starscreams go yellow on the shelves and get sold dirt cheap. Probably will be. Probably will be. The one with the Orion and Optimus? Yeah, the one with the Orion and Optimus. No, not the one with the Orion and Optimus. The one with the Orion and Alpha Trion. No, although the one with the Optimus is good too. Black Arachnia is easily my favorite animated character. Then you should go vote for that Black Arachnia. Was that the 2-pack that I sent? No, it's not that 2-pack. It's the other one. It's the one that comes with the key to Vector Sigma and stuff. Comes with Vector Sigma. That being said, in both cases, it's either the Studio Series 86 or the Titans Return Cup mold. Either Orion Pax is great because that mold's fantastic. Either of those molds are good. I wonder if that Orion Pax MP will be retooled and repainted into Pyro. I don't know who that is, so maybe. I don't. Yes? No? I don't know. Now Charles is going to be in the money. I don't think he was hurting before Grimlock on. I think he was doing all right for himself, buddy. Somebody on eBay is already trying to pre-sell it for $140. I'll think about just getting one Maverick. We shall see. If the X Transbots one is what? Oh, severely hindered. I may just pass on that too. I wish they went with an animated shattered glass design for Starscream based on Sky Gary color scheme. They're not going to do. I don't think they're going to go for animated yet because right now they're just testing the waters to see if the age group that grew up on Unicron Trilogy have the disposable income to spend. Right now, I would venture to say to you that the people that grew up on animated do not have the disposable income to spend. Most of them are just reaching maybe 20 or so now, thinking like Hasbro's thinking, right? Thinking in terms of it being kids that are, and that's all that really appreciate it, right? Because you got to think like them. I think that in their mind, they're thinking, well, the crux of people that were fans of that aren't old enough yet to have the disposable income to spend on it. You got to think from it. It's no good to say what you would want. Nobody cares what you want. You got to think in terms of how can we maximize profit? Because that's the only thing that motivates them. How do we maximize profit? Their business, right? If you think that they care about you or that they're loyal to you, they're not. They're business. Don't be loyal to them because they're not loyal to you. I keep saying this. It's like a broken record, man. Some legacy. I said Earthrise. Oh, okay. You meant legacy. Yeah. What do you think of the new what? Wig Girl Wind Blade? What? I don't know what Wing Girl Wind Blade is. I don't know what that is, so I don't think anything of it. I've never heard of it. The Windsor family is rather wealthy. The family actually owns most of the property that they use, and they own some since they got $1 or two. They're doing all right. Do you think that they might re-release Orion Pax and Alpha separately at some point? No, I don't. I don't believe that they will for a second. I wish that they would, but I don't believe they will. Speaking of RIP to my Shatterglass Starscream colors, yeah, that's true for all of us. I could try to repaint my War for Cybertron cup into Orion. The head won't be right. The head wouldn't be Orion Pax. You know, you'd have to get an alternate head. That'd be a lot of work. Hey, Slow DK. Okay, let's kind of go through the rest of the news here. It's not a lot left. We saw some images of Magnificus next to Shatterglass Perceptor. I like the Perceptor. I'm sure the Magnificus is great. I like the look, the colors. Or you could always use them as Shatterglass Perceptor, right? But I mean, again, it is what it is, right? Want to go back to school? Speaking of going back to school, what about an 86 movie lunchbox and thermos, man? Who wouldn't want it? The only problem is it's available in November, and now all of the school supplies are kind of out. It seems like a bad timing to release that. But you never know. I mean, that'd be right up my alley, you know. Maybe that's what I'll get and use it as my lunchbox, right? Designer Aaron Archer, or former designer Aaron Archer for Transformers, will be at TFCon Chicago. We saw an official reveal for NPM Nemesis Prime, due to be out, I believe, March 2023. I think input's in for it. I talked about this last week, how it wasn't a movie character. I'm not hateful on it or anything, though, because it looks amazing. And we have had like movie characters that didn't appear in the movies. So, you know, why not? You have an Optimus, why not make it a Nemesis? It makes sense. Everybody loves evil Optimus Prime, right? Speaking of the MP line, we also saw the next of the train bots with MPG Suikin. I had no idea if I'm saying that right. He is due out in June of 2023, so we got a long way to go before he comes out yet. Looks like he got a hella backpack, though. Like, big backpack, man. Now, the robot looks clean, but I feel like he has a lot of junk on his back for something that's supposed to be MP. Maybe it's just me. The last two bots, being Cezanne and Kane, they are due to be revealed, not released, revealed in January and April. So if I was to guess, I would say that you would probably expect, let's assume that Cezanne is going to be the one revealed in January. I would say August, September for his release. And my guess would be Kane revealed in April, probably around next Christmas, like Christmas of 2023 for that one. Would be my guess. That would be my guess. What else do we have here? As expected, we are going to have items, fiction, products, I don't know, on display for Earthrise and Rise of the Beast during the Brand Licensing Europe Expo up and coming. I don't think anybody would be shocked by that. We had a behind the scenes look at the upcoming Dead End. I don't like him from the knees down. I don't like it from the knees down. I don't like the feet just being the bumper. From the waist up, knees up, it looks pretty good. I'm glad that they redesigned the backpack. The backpack originally was just going to be a backpack that like just folds down on his back. Now I would venture to say it's on an armature and kind of goes back and then goes down on his back. But when it goes down on his back, you're still looking at like the hood, right? A la Combiner Wars. Just saying, that's the way it goes on his back in Combiner Wars as well. If anybody saw my look at Wild Rider, I mean, they basically reshelled the engineering from Combiner Wars and sold it for 3 times the price here in Canada anyway. It's fine, but I don't understand why it costs anymore. I really don't. What else do we have here? The Hall of Fame we already talked about, and that's it for the news. I'm going to do the trivia courtesy of Dragonfly. I'm going to check in with you guys, and then we're going to do the unboxing and get out of here. So the trivia tonight, this is a hard one. Listen close. Listen close. Are we listening closely? Do you think Hasbro would do that with the hype of Playmobil kit? Only if they can make a big profit off of it. Here is the trivia. Are we listening closely? Here we go. The G1 episode, War of the Dinobots. Great episode. Great episode. Can be seen playing in the background of what 1994 film? So it's on a TV screen. It's playing in the background of what 1994 film? Was it A, Leon the Professional? Was it B, The Page Master? Was it C, The Mask? Or was it D, Little Giants? Which 1994 movie had War of the Dinobots playing in the background? Was it Leon the Professional? Was it The Page Master, The Mask, or Little Giants? We're going to see what you guys come up with. I'm going to check in and See what you guys were saying here, and then we'll see the answers, and then we'll do the unboxing. We'll get out of here. I want the set for Vector Sigma. Yes, so do I. I don't see any way to get it, but so do I. I did not separate the pit figures, so they certainly will not. They didn't separate the pit figure, so they're not going to separate Orion and Alpha. That's right. If you didn't get the pit, then like you didn't get that guard or the execution or whatever it was. I think it was a guard, right? You didn't get Kranix. You didn't get the prosecutor, right? So I mean, it is what it is. That's a very good point, Anthony. Really good point. Thanks for actually bringing that up. Good point. I saw the lunchbox combo. I had the movie lunchbox made of metal when I was a kid, right? A lot of people did. Walmart has the Transformers G.I. Joe lunchbox out there. Oh, interesting. You remember when Optimus Prime was tempted to what? Hey, you remember Pen Optimus Prime? I was tempted to get. Then I saw the price, which I don't know what Optimus Prime that was. Suler, I don't know what Optimus Prime that was. I want the lunchbox. I got the last one they put out. One saw was Transformers, the other was G.I. Joe. There you go. I haven't seen any of that stuff. I can't be alive. We don't have a kid Transformer crossover yet. It would be a popular one. Remember, we done the top 10 crossovers that have yet to happen. That would be a popular one. By the way, the voting for Monday's list, which is going to be character that needs an update, is wild because there are people voting for stuff that like got updated last year. And it's like, why are you saying update that again? What a waste. Like, there were a couple of votes for Rhinox. Like, no, he doesn't need another update. He's had 2. What about characters that have never, ever had any? What is one character? And still, people are voting and saying, well, these 3. I'm asking for 1. I'm not asking for 3. I'm asking for 1. Like, man. The new Fans Hobby Energon Prime looks like a great upgrade from the old Fathoms. Oh, yeah. Oh, Fans Hobby's been nailing it with their offerings. You think Hasbro would do that with all of the hype around Playmobil? You would think, but see, again, you're saying you think Hasbro would do it. Nothing saying that they own the rights. Nothing saying that they have any sort of business in place. Like, again, Sovereign, you got to think explicitly like a company. They got to make money off of it, and if they both want a big payday, that's going to make it harder. Look at that Dracula. Here, that Dracula is $84.99, and it's rotting on the shelf. Rotting because it'll never sell, because at the end of the day, people that have been collecting for a long time like myself are looking at it and saying, okay, so it's a black and white Mind Wipe with a cape. Why was Mind Wipe $16.99 and this guy $84.99? Nope. It's pure cash grab and people aren't buying into it. I got the last lunchbox at GameStop. It pisses me off that Hasbro originally planned to make Dead End's lower legs proper wheels on the inside, then completely changed them. Yeah, they did change them and made the rims a darker color because Mark thought it looked cool. Okay, let's make it inaccurate to make it look cool. Since Hasbro seems to be making Skyquake and Dreadwing, maybe they can make Megaplex from their mold. They could make Megaplex, but I haven't heard anything about Skyquake. I've only heard Dreadwing, but come on. If you have a Dreadwing, it only makes sense to have Skyquake, right? I am as my volume fully up. I don't know why you said that, but okay. Oh, man, it jumped on me again. Okay, so we're down here. A, Leon the Professional. A, D, Leon the Professional with a question mark, says Kildeo. Honestly, I have no idea. A, Leon the Professional with a young Natty Portman. I don't know. I'll guess Little Giants. A Page Master. There was an Optimus Prime that turns into a pen. Yeah, there was an Optimus that turns into a pen, and they done it as a nemesis too. There is one of a camera, so anything's possible. I'm about to get my first Fans Hobby Thunderclash. I gave 2 answers, but I did break them down for the eras. Leon the Professional. I never seen it. I saw the other three, and I don't remember seeing that in there. Okay, yeah. Knight Rider stuff tends to sell pretty well. Of course it does, because Knight Rider rocked. Terribly written show, terribly directed, terrible actors, but the car is so cool, man. So is Car. So is Goliath. Got Pop Unicron. Yeah, I saw that Grimlock Gone. Thundercats, Thunder Tank crossover would be cool. I barely remember Thundercats, to be honest with you. Do your designer versus what? Do your designers versus the bigwig skit again, so people will understand. That would be creator and the corporate man. We need a new Thunderblast. Gears for an official update. You asked if we listened, and I answered that if you were listening close. Oh, I got you now. And the Knight Rider car was voiced by Peter Cullen. No, the Knight Rider car was not voiced by Peter Cullen. Car was voiced by Peter Cullen. Kit was actually voiced by Daniel. I can't remember what his last name is. Mr. Feeney. I can't remember what his last name is. He was Kit. Automated roving robot. Knight automated roving robot. Oh, for Car. Yeah. William Daniels. There you go. William Daniels. Thank you very much. The answer was Leon the Professional. Yes, you guys are right. I got to be honest with you. I've never even heard of Leon the Professional. I've never heard of The Page Master. I've never heard of Little Giants. I know The Mask. I've never even heard of these other movies. So it was a big surprise to me. This is not one I could have come up with because I've never heard of the movies. All right, let's do the pickup. Very simple. Tonight, actually, I have two things, but one of them I'm going to save for next week, just so I got something for next week. So you already know I'm going to have an unboxing next week. But tonight, courtesy of our buddy Ultra Megatronus, I actually have the Creatures Collide 4-pack. And here's the thing. I don't know if our Toys R Us will get this in. I have no idea. If so, I would expect it would be grossly overpriced. I know that in the US, a lot of people are leaving these on the shelf because they're saying, I want Goldbug and I don't care about anybody else. For me, I want Goldbug. In no small part because I have the Shattered Glass Goldbug. I like that the two body types are actually different. By the way, on the ranking of Titan's Return on the TF Reviewers channel, I think it was last week, our boy Roadburn got put in an F. He got by, I think it was Raz who put him there. That got moved up by, I believe it was Input. For anybody who doesn't know, Titan's Return Roadburn is actually the Throttlebot Chase, right? They couldn't get the name Chase or whatever, but it's Chase. So now I have two of the Throttlebots out of 6. I also would like to have, I'm not going to call him Sky Wasp. I want Parasite because honestly, like, this is a good mold. I didn't really need it for Waspinator, but it's fine. It's a fine enough Waspinator if you're cool with the dark purple. I love it as Buzzsaw, so I have no problem having it as Parasite. Then we have Ransack, one of the deluxe Insecticons from G1 that I always thought were cool. I mean, it's basically this guy, but this is a fantastic mold. I love it. So why would I not want it as Ransack? The only one I don't care about is the Scorponok. Now, how will the tolerances be? How will the paint be? How will they be? We'll see. We'll see probably on Monday. I'm going to tell you now. Tomorrow we're doing Road Rocket. Monday, the plan is to do that 4-pack. And then next Friday, the plan is to do next Thursday's unboxing. That makes sense? You understand me? And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. We are done. I'm going to get out of here. We're actually done at a sensible hour. Woohoo! Yay, go us. Enjoy your weekend. I hope it's fantastic for you all as we now begin to move into the autumn season. I appreciate, of course, you guys coming by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we have to offer to you through spring, or of course, hit the join button right here on YouTube, baby, and become guest a channel member. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, stick around and have some fun with us. And especially don't forget that somehow, man, some way, each and every single day, you do make a difference in the world, whether you feel like it or realize it or not, you do. And I personally look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams right here on Thursday nights, at the stop motion premieres, or of course the old fashioned way inside the videos.